Most of us get on our devices without thinking too much about how the back end works. Your device connects to your internet provider, usually a cable or phone company. Comcast happens to be the biggest one in the nation. That provider connects you to all the online services you want to use. Net neutrality isn't crazy complicated. You're looking at a basic example of how it works. It's how you expect the internet to work already. Notice how all of the connections to these services are equal. You get decent speed watching a show on Netflix and watching a live video on Facebook. The idea is that the internet is like a utility. You pay for internet and you get connected to everything on it the same way. So what's the other way? It's a different philosophy that says these things don't need to be equal as a rule. Your provider is a business competing in a free market, and it should be allowed to make deals with other companies you use online. One example is called a fast lane. Say Amazon comes out with a hot new show and it wants to pump it out in glorious super high def to everyone. It would pay Comcast for better connection to you to handle all that data. To help make that happen, providers like Comcast could do what's called throttling. Amazon paid for a better connection, so Comcast might slow down the connection that goes to Netflix or Facebook, for example, because Amazon paid for better speed to reach you. And the most dramatic extreme is blocking. Say Facebook is taking up lots of data. Comcast wants them to pay up, but they can't reach a deal. Comcast could cut them off, and now you don't have Facebook at all if you're a Comcast customer. You already know what this looks like. Only instead of Facebook's and Amazon's, it's been with cable channels, fighting with cable and satellite providers. A big argument for this new way is that it would encourage new technology like the next super duper high def 3D total immersion show that Amazon might cook up. A big argument against is that if a new company creates something awesome, it may not ever be able to connect to you because startups don't have piles of cash to pay for a bigger pipeline, so it never gets off the ground. It's a real difference in philosophy with big money on both sides, both claiming to be on the side of freedom. This side claims freedom of competition in the marketplace. This side claims freedom of access to the internet itself.
So Comcast repeatedly said on Twitter today that it would not block, throttle, or discriminate against lawful content, no matter how the FCC rules turn out. Now, we haven't heard back yet from Spectrum on their position about this paid priority concept. The FCC is set to vote on these new rules on December 14th. And we also spoke with a tech expert today who says there are some companies like Google, they don't agree with this move at all. He says consumers who prefer that freedom of internet access, the way that it is now, not free competition, should write to their congressional leaders and tell them to vote against this. So it's weird. I mean, think about it the way you did with water or turning on a light. Imagine a power company said, well, you pay more, so we'll give you the light in 1 second. Well, you pay less, we'll give you the light in 3 seconds.
Is there a lot of support for this? Like, does this look like it might actually go through?
In the FCC right now, yes, and all that information is going to be up on our website. The chairman behind it is fully supporting it and basically saying that, you know, if you are Amazon, if you make it equal for everybody, it doesn't encourage you to come up with these new shows, pay for a better signal that most people would say, okay, well, I'm going to go directly to this and the competition, and encouraging that between those different companies.